Hey creeps, my name is Cameron Chaney, author of Autumn Crow and the host here on Library Macabre, where we talk about books, movies, writing, and all things spooky. And today we're going to be talking about movies because I recently got my Black Friday Vinegar Syndrome order in the mail, as well as my Severin Black Friday order. For those who don't know what Vinegar Syndrome and Severin are, they are independent horror movie boutique releasing labels. They take old cult classic films and repackage them in brand new restored editions on Blu-ray and 4K, and they both do great jobs. I recently did a giant massive Vinegar Syndrome halfway to Black Friday unboxing on my channel, and that video did so well that I decided I should probably follow that up with the Black Friday order. In that video, which I will link right up here, I ordered about 40 movies. I didn't order quite that many this time. If you go watch the video, I explain kind of my reasoning behind ordering that many movies. I was trying to catch up, is the thing. Now I kind of am caught up, so I didn't have quite as many movies to order this time. I ordered 12 Blu-ray sets from Vinegar Syndrome, and I ordered 7 from Severin. Before I get into the Black Friday movies though, there are a couple that I'm going to show you that I got a couple months ago. I pre-ordered these from Vinegar Syndrome, and I want to show them here because I'm sure people are going to be like, I can't believe you didn't order those. I did. The big one being Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Vinegar Syndrome recently got the rights to Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 and released it in a beautiful 4K edition. This set is really, really nice. You've got the nice outer box. You have a nice slipcover underneath showing the original poster arts. I've not watched the 4K transfer of this yet. I still need to do that, but I'm very excited to because this movie is a riot and I'm excited to experience it in 4K. And of course, the first film, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is about to come out in 4K, which is very exciting. I've been waiting for that to come out in 4K for a very long time, and I'm ready for it. When I pre-ordered Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, I also pre-ordered the Amityville Curse, which is a partner release, and this is currently sold out, so I'm glad I got to it when I did. When Vinegar Syndrome put out their Amityville collection box set a few years ago, and I bought that right away, and I love it. It's a great set. I was a little bit bummed that they didn't include the Amityville Curse, but I'm glad that they have finally partnered up and done a release of the Amityville Curse because it's a very interesting movie, a Canadian film actually, and I'm really happy that it's in a nice edition to go with my Amityville box set. Now, I have not bought Vinegar Syndrome's 4K release of the Amityville Horror yet. I want to, but it wasn't on sale yet, so I'm gonna wait a little bit before I buy that. All right, time to get into the Vinegar Syndrome movies, and then I will do Severin after this. So here's a little peek at some of the things I got. So one of the big surprise releases of the Black Friday sale is one of my personal favorites. I couldn't believe that they were putting this out in 4K. I was blown away. It's a really fun film. It's unforgettable, and that is Freeway. I love this movie. This is a film from the late 90s. It stars Reese Witherspoon and Kiefer Sutherland. Am I going to explain the plot of this movie? I don't really know if I can. It goes in a lot of different directions, but basically it is an insane movie with an insane story, insane dialogue, insane acting by Reese Witherspoon, who's great in this. She's off her rocker, and it's really, really funny. And it's so quotable too.
If you try anything, I'm gonna shoot you so many times!
It's full of great lines. It's wonderful. It's not a movie that's for everybody, so be forewarned. It is dark, it is violent. That's another thing. This is the uncut version of the film. So holy crap, it includes some things that I did not remember from my first go around. It's quite the film, I have to say. Another one I picked up is Scared to Death. This is a science fiction creature horror film that kind of mixes in a lot of slasher elements. It's one that I have not seen, but I've heard great things about. This has been restored from its 16mm negative. I love a good cheesy creature film, so this one is going to get some watch time very soon. This next one is one that I actually can't show you the cover of here on YouTube because I don't want to get flagged. So I'm just going to show you the artwork that's underneath the slipcover, and that is Flesh Eater. This is kind of an unofficial sequel to Night of the Living Dead. It's directed by Bill Hinsman, who was the zombie in the graveyard at the beginning of Night of the Living Dead. So he went on to direct kind of this follow-up titled Flesh Eater: Revenge of the Living Dead. And this has finally been released in a 4K release, restored from the original negative. I'm very excited to see what it's like and see how it stacks up next to Night of the Living Dead. Now, this does come with a slipcover. This is the back of the slipcover. I won't show the front, though. I also picked up Hard Rock Zombies and Slaughterhouse Rock. So this is a double feature on Blu-ray. Both of these films are from the mid-80s and look like cheesy good fun. I've heard really good things about these. I also picked up the 4K edition of Madman, which is a movie I have seen and I love. It's a really good 80s slasher, and I highly recommend if you like the original Friday the 13th. It has a lot of the same kinds of characteristics, the same vibe. It's a very cool slasher, and I really do enjoy this one. And I'm glad that Vinegar Syndrome has re-released this in 4K. I missed out on their first release, and I didn't get around to buying it. So I'm just glad they put it out in a nicer edition with a newly restored version. Another double feature, we have Schizoid and X-Ray. This is a 4K double feature. These are 80s slashers that share a lot in common with giallo films, and these were originally put out by Scream Factory back in the day, and I had missed out on that release. It went out of print, and I was like, well, maybe somebody else will come along and put them out in 4K. And sure enough, Vinegar Syndrome swooped in to the rescue and put it out in an even better edition than Scream Factory ever did. So thank you, Vinegar Syndrome. Another double feature. I love these double features because it's about the same cost and you get an extra movie. So here is Horror High and Stanley. Stanley's about a man and his killer snake, and Horror High is kind of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde creature feature. These are both films from the early 70s, so quite a bit older, and I've not seen either of these yet, but I'm very curious to see what they're like. I do love a good drive-in 70s film. This next one is not a double feature. It is a triple feature, which is even better. So this is a partner release from AGFA. AGFA puts out a lot of really cool stuff, and of course Vinegar Syndrome partnered with them to release even nicer editions of their films. So this is the Bloodorama triple feature, and it includes, of course, 3 films. The first being Night of the Strangler, Carnival of Blood, which is the one I was most excited to see, and Help Me, I'm Possessed, which also sounds fantastic. Now, these are way, way, way low budget films, terrible films that are very enjoyable in my opinion. So it's a matter of taste. I'll leave it there. I don't have the best taste. I just like to be entertained. This next one was one that I meant to watch during Christmas time and kind of dropped the ball on it. So I'm still gonna watch it, but probably when it starts snowing again, which I'm sure it will before too long. This is a 1988 film, The American Scream. And this is about a family who goes on vacation to the mountains for Christmas to a ski resort. And of course we get a slasher. Another one from Culture Shock is another double feature. So we've got Slashdance, which of course is taking a beat from Flashdance, and Hollywood's New Blood. So I've not watched these yet either, but it says that the presentation of Slashdance is an HD upres from the original Video Master, and Hollywood's New Blood is an HD upres from the best available video sources. I don't think they're shot on video films, but they're taken from Video Masters. I love shot on video films, and I'm excited to add these films to my SOV collection. Hopefully they're good. Speaking of SOV shot on video, we have Video Violence, the Snuff Collection. I have seen Video Violence. I've not seen Video Violence Part 2 yet. So these are both shot on video films, both remastered in high definition. I know you're probably thinking, but it was shot on video. Yeah, so it's not gonna look amazing, but it does take the original video elements and it makes them as presentable as possible. Basically, it's more about preservation than it is about restoration. I also picked up the Forgotten Jolly Volume 4 box set. I have Volumes 1 through 3. I now have Volume 4, and I still gotta get Volume 5. They keep putting out more and more of these. It's kind of crazy. but they're very good sets, and I'm really glad to have some more in my collection. This set includes the sister of Ursula, Arabella, Black Angel, looks real crazy, and the killer is still among us. I don't know a thing about these films. Some of these forgotten Jolly sets have movies that really appealed to me. Some of them have some films I'm like, what even is this? Okay, so those are all of the Vinegar Syndrome movies. Now we're going to get into the Severin films. Severin is also really great. I used to not be as big a fan of Severin because their video transfers weren't as good. Their restorations weren't as good, but they've recently started getting a little bit better, and I've enjoyed a lot of their recent releases. So we're going to look at some of the ones I picked up during their sale. And this first one is actually an older release, and that is Zombie 3, which is technically Zombie 2. For those who aren't in the know, it's confusing. I won't go into it. I have seen this. I borrowed this from a friend when it came out originally, and thought it was so much fun. It's just totally bonkers. So I had to pick up Zombie 3 before it goes out of print. I don't know when it will. It's been out for a long time, but I figure better get it while I'm safe. I haven't picked up Zombie 4, aka Zombie 3 yet, but I will eventually. I also got Werewolf in a Girl's Dormitory. This is the original uncut version. It is an Italian film from 1961. I've watched this and really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good werewolf film, very atmospheric and gothic, and I had a good time watching this one. So I'm a big fan of old creature features, and this was right up my alley. Speaking of, here is The Horror of Party Beach, which I've not watched yet. I'm very excited to watch this. My boss is also a big fan of horror films, and she said that this is one of her favorites. So I've been meaning to pick this up for a long time, and I finally got it for a good price during the sale. So yeah, The Horror of Party Beach from 1963. Next, we have one of their recent releases, and this is Night of the Demon, featuring a limited edition slipcover. And this is a Bigfoot Sasquatch film that I hear is ultra gory. It's a splatter film. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm very excited to dig into this. I've heard good things about it, and it should deliver in the gore department, and it should be a whole lot of fun. This has been scanned in 2K from the recently discovered 35mm answer print. I don't know what an answer print is. Does anybody know? If you know what an answer print is, drop it down below in the graveyard, because I don't know what that means. I'm guessing it's a dupe negative of some kind. I don't know. Next up, Day of the Animals. This is a follow-up to the director's previous film, Grizzly, which is very good. A really good grizzly bear animal attack movie. This one I've not seen yet, but I am very, very excited to. It looks pretty crazy because you got all kinds of animals. Instead of just a grizzly bear, you have everything. And lastly, we have a couple of Italian films. The first up being Bloody Pit of Horror. Dun, dun, dun. Looks very similar to The Pit in the Pendulum, which is, a favorite Poe story of mine. And starring one of my favorite Italian actresses is Barbara Steele. And this one's called An Angel for Satan. I've not seen all of Barbara Steele's movies, but she is very, very good. I find her movies very comforting. So I'm excited to see what this one's all about. The quote on the back says, Barbara Steele reigns supreme. She takes that Black Sunday element to the next level. Black Sunday is a Mario Bava film that she starred in, and it's probably one of her better known movies. And it's really, really good. So if it's anything like Black Sunday, I think I'm gonna like this. So there you go. There's all of the Severin movies I ordered. So thank you creeps so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little haul. I am going to be doing reviews of these as I watch them, probably on my Patreon if you would like to go sign up there. It's as little as $2 a month, and I can let you guys know what I think of these crazy little movies and which ones are going to stay in my collection and which ones might move on. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you very soon in the next episode of Library Macabre. Later, creeps.
something?